Sorry, guys, I am getting to it. Oh, okay. Almost have my chat out. Almost. Almost do. Perfect. Good morning, Cobb. Hey, Craig. Good morning, Beard. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Oh, yeah. Last night. Oh, gosh. I'm so happy these things performed like they did. All this homemade junk that I got here. So I'm in design mode about this wood, but I wanted it to get to a cube, right? So I could get to some shapes, and then I did some other stuff that didn't quite work out. But man, I had a good time doing it. So my wife came downstairs and told me to cut it out. She really did. But I got the drill involved. This was a problem. Forestner and such. But look, oh my gosh, let me show you. Just because I'm being freaking thing. Um, this works so good. I might put a long form on how to put this together because it's so cheap. It's so easy, but it works so well. Just trying to find an appropriate scrap. Okay, it's walnut anyway. Hey, what's going on, man? Thank y'all for dropping in. Even if you just drop in and say what's up, I appreciate it, yo. I do. I know everybody's busy. Got some stuff to do. You know what I mean? Stuck at work. Oh, I guess it's. Well, hope I didn't hit nothing I shouldn't. Could be perspective. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little part of me that feels stuck at home. You know what I mean? Only because I got work to do. I got work I want to do, and some circumstantial things are preventing it. You know what I mean? So anyway, this is I'm over here preaching. Happy Mental Health Awareness Month, ladies and germs. This is my Stanley #4 handplane. It is this one is a made in England one. First off, I want you to see what this edge looks like. Come on, Wes. Let's just be pushing buttons, Hold on. I got this, backwards facing camera right now. But you can see that's a pretty gnarly edge, right? Just want to give a quick demonstration of what this tuned Stanley #4 can do. Proper setup. You can always lock your wood into a vise. No big deal. And let me just adjust, make sure I'm nice and tight there, and then we're gonna push through. I like to do small shavings because that's just, who I am. Oddly enough, some of this is ingrained. You can see it turning, right? Because the wood doesn't care about you being straight. That's what, okay, I'm not going to tell it. I'm not going to tell that. Now, one, bam. Two, ingrain. You see that? You can see it better here. This is walnut, which is a pretty hard wood. But see that grain rising? So we've got an ingrain. Now you see all that waviness? That's just the pores in the wood. But look at that pretty stuff. Looks wavy. Dead flat. Dead flat. But that's what a good plane is for. So that we can reveal all of this. Sanding does something different than that. Sanding fills in some of those pores. It changes some of that stuff. And that's why the old guys like to use hand planes and blades and things like that. I believe so too, Beard. Ooh. And Cobb, I love walnut too. Nice, nice. But check it out. I don't know who's got one and who don't. But you can win it this Friday, win it this Friday, win it this Friday. Not the wood, the plane. What? West does it's giving away a vintage hand plane. I'm gonna go ahead and hit this edge too, since it's all wavy. I'll show you. All wavy. It's a good cut, but it's a bandsaw cut. So I'm gonna clean it up just so I've got a flat piece of wood. I just like the feel of a. Visually, my eyes like to see that. Here's what I am gonna do real quick, because I want to teach good habits, right? Not that I'm a teacher. There are definitely better people for this than me, but one of them would be Paul Sellers. He's amazing. He's amazing. One of them would be Rex Kruger with a K. He is amazing. One of them, Wood by Wright. That's James Wright, I believe. He is amazing. And these guys know tons more than me. But I'm here now and I can talk to you about it if you want. That's sort of the benefit. They're too big for you. They're too good for you. I'm here. I'm Mr. Right Now. All right, listen. I'm just gonna put some wax on the sole here, just to get it moving nice and smooth. So I'll go ahead and break this down, and I'm gonna put some gloves on while I do it, just so that I'm teaching good solid practice while handling this blade. Potentially, you may not ever need to touch this blade at all. But one thing I'm not going to do is wax this sole with this blade extended. It's too easy. This is the oh, I forgot completely. Anyways, you can take the blade and the chip holder right out. really easily. And if you do that, then you can pop this sole wax right on, nice and safely. What's funny is when you do this, as you do it and you start making the circles, right? You start going back over the wax you just put on, and the actual application becomes smooth and slick. You can feel it slipping around on top of the surface. It's crazy. So good. This is a general purpose workshop wax that a friend of mine is put together, and I'm a crash dummy for him. How about we just decline you? Oh man. That's the most frustrating thing. I'm sorry. Sorry, everybody. For those who are watching later or want to scroll back and check it out, yeah, I'm going to just pick up where YouTube randomly cut me off. And that is, I was going to strop this. I'm keeping them still together, and I'm going to just keep going with what I was doing. All right, that edge is what I'm concerned with. It's nice and shiny, so we know it's pretty good. And I'm going to just pull it across my strop. Trying not to roll. I don't want to do that. I want to just keep it nice and flat. Just pull it right across that strap. And I'm all shiny all the way across. Thank you for coming back, Rob. I appreciate that. Anybody who did. My stupid YouTube cut out. I shouldn't say stupid YouTube. My bad. But it cut out for whatever reason. We just got our blade put back in. Don't worry. Blade chip breaker on the frog, and then this is the lever cap. Now, we got our bottom nice and clean. What we're going to look at down here, you see how that blade's got a slight little tilt on it if you look straight into it? A little lean that way. We adjust that here. That right there. Keep our hands away from that blade. But that right there shifts our blade left and right. And so we'll look underneath there at the bottom, and then I'll shift it. Maybe you guys can see it better this way. Till we get nice and even all the way across. Right? You can look at it this way too. All right, now I'm gonna adjust right here. Is our adjustment knob right here. And give it a shot. See if we can flatten out. I just want to re-show you those who are new here. A little rough edge there, a little wavy. And this is primarily what a hand plane does, and this is primarily what a West Does It does. All right, so we're just going to try to flatten that out. Rough. I'm going to back this up a little bit. When you turn that once, it'll release some pressure, and then it'll get really loose. That's purposeful, and that helps you fine tune it. Once it starts to stiffen up, that's when you're actually engaging that blade, and then turning this way for me on this one. I'm facing it from this way counterclockwise, is retracting my blade a little bit. So I'm going to go there, just back up a little bit. And then after I get that, I'm going to try it. I'm making some contact, definitely less. Perfect. I'm going to put this on a slight angle so that I'm slicing through that, not just bam, 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 hitting it. And then let's see how it goes. You can see all the shiny spots is where we make contact. That's all the high spots. It's going to just keep sort of doing that, hitting the high spots. See? And we're going to keep doing that until all the high spots are no longer high spots. I don't know if your angle allows you to see. This is getting contact. This is getting contact. This way back here is getting contact because those are the high areas. These aren't even getting touched yet. And that's sort of the accuracy of this saw, this tool. Sometimes, like if you're sanding this, particularly with something that's soft, then it's going to ride all of these ridges and waves. This tool will not. It's going to knock them down for you. Depending on how aggressive you want to be, I don't mind going fairly slow and just creeping up on it, but you can adjust this to be a little heavier, take off a little more, but this is pretty dry walnut, so I don't want to push my luck and get all grabby, right? Because the deeper the cut, just like with any blade, the more difficult because you're gouging a little bit deeper in the wood. I'm going to back this out. Now I'm grabbing again, and then I'm maybe going, if I put my finger right here at 9 o'clock, I might have worked my way up to 11:30. Doesn't take much. I'm turn it and get a little more out of it. Grab a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. That feels good. Woo. Change direction a little bit. See, it's starting to figure. These still are the low spots. Give you a little tighter look at that wood. It's just because walnut is a great illustrator of exactly what's happening here. Hey, K-Lump. Oh, I didn't know that meant local store raised prices, but oh, here in Michigan, the people value their stuff way too high at yard sales. Oh, yeah, that happens. That sort of happens this day and age a lot, Beard, because they're looking at retail and eBay and high volume things. Look at those dips just slowly going away. Low spot, low spot, low spot. And you got to get all the high down to the low. You can't go in reverse. The drier the wood, the more kind of chippy it'll be. And again, we're kind of some side grain here, but you can look, see, we've only got this and then this little spot right here. Otherwise, sometimes you got to get the back end that way, so because because your blade is sort of running straight into it. Now let's see what we got. We knew we were wavy gravy. Dead flat. So we accomplished our goal, but look at all of that cool figuring, like it's this sort of illusion going this way, and then the actual grain going that way. Crazy good how walnut does. So good. So we may use this today for something. This is also walnut as well. It's not off of this piece, but very similar. Black walnut. Black walnut, ladies and gentlemen. But what we're going to do today is tune, not this one, because obviously this one does what it's supposed to do 100%. But the other one that I did not opt for could use some tuning. And I'm going to do that for you right now. We might leave this still set up just so that we can, still reuse it. We may just pull it, move it out of the way, do our stuff right here. We'll see. First things first, coffee. Vice says, I love walnut. Me too. I really do. It's good stuff. When I bought this hand plane, I got it on eBay for under $100. I did have to tune it, did have to recut the edge, did have to unrustify some of it, but all in all, definitely worth it. Like, still feels like a steal. Did I already take it down? I already took it down. Jeez Louise. Okay. You can see that this is cleaned up and it's a nice one, right? Visually, because I did work the sole, redid it, all that stuff. That blade looks nice, but you see all that wood trapped in there. That means something's going on between that chip breaker. Watch this. Between that chip breaks, how easily that came out. That's not coming out that easy. That means it's pinched in there. So something's got to happen. And we must investigate. So first things first, we're just going to take this apart. This is also a Stanley number 4. This is essentially the same as that one, except this one is a made in the US of A. This is a lever cap, a lever cap, whichever way you want to say it. This little bean right here is a clever little way to be able to put this on quickly and lock it right back down and hold everything nice and snug. Sometimes that doesn't work quite that way and you got to turn that screw a little bit. But interestingly enough, the lever cap also doubles. Perfect size to turn that screw. That's by design. I didn't know that until Rex Kruger taught me that. All right, look at what happened. Look at what happened. All this stuff got bunched in between. That means there's an opening somewhere. Or this thing ain't in the right place. Something. Also, lever cap can double as a tool to open that flathead. I'm going to just slide that back. All of that Ooh, hiss, hiss. Now, there's a couple of reasons that could happen. One could be there's some sort of curvature happening in my blade, right? And then leaving a little mouth in between the two, like that. Or could be we're too far, too close. Or it could be either of those same things happening with the chip breaker. Now, as I run my fingers across, I can feel some resistance. I don't know if that's rust there. I don't know if that's some glue that got in there from something we might have cut open. That's just to take them apart and examine these parts individually. Definitely got some light surface rust starting. Not uncommon, however. Um, I do prefer to do some of this stuff with oil and water, oil instead of water now. Um, if we go to the whetstones, we go to the whetstones, but we're going to try this with the automotive sandpaper. And we'll start with the cleanup with just not that, but some burgundy, some Ron Burgundy, Scotch Guard pads. I got some somewhere. I couldn't tell you where the somewhere is. I can tell you I got some. Somewhere. I got two of these. One of them I use with oil stuff. One of them I use with water stuff. Good not to mix the two. I think I'm going to put a little rag down over this just so I'm not soaking this stuff. Lever cap, blade, chip breaker. And this will be the sole. This will be the frog. This also comes out. We don't need it to right now. We may, however, shift this frog forward. We'll check in a little bit once we get these two pieces cleaned up and make sure that they're not the source of our problem. Maybe should have showed this thing in action grabbing wood, but you've all seen wood get grabbed and jerk the tool. If not, it might do it again if I don't do a good job. I like this because it's aggressive enough to take off extra junk, but it's not aggressive enough to take off any material, any metal or anything like that. It's not going to ruin a blade. Not going to dig in enough to be a problem. If we do it with oil, we're sort of helping this out. Because I'm in a garage, this is not the environment necessarily. Like you want to have these like in a box away from humidity, all those sorts of things if you don't want any of this to ever happen. But I find that if you're using the tool fairly often, you got to clean it fairly often. This can be a part of that process and preserve it. And, you know, the thing was crazy looking when I first got it. And it's from the 40s, so, you know what I'm saying? Show some respect. So when I'm cleaning it, I'm just going to clean all of the relevant parts of it, and then I'm going to hit any parts of it that look like it might need a little attention, just because that's what you should do when you're trying to ensure that a good tool stays a good tool for a long time. Don't want to just beat on it and ask of it, ask of it, ask of it. You want to give it some love too. Symbiosis. What's up, Beard Grooves? I'm glad I could bring a childhood memory up. Keep reading that Bible, brother. It says living water. Mm-mm. Hey, Wes and crew. Hey, Brandon. How are you, sir? How are you? In here cleaning this blade up. This edge looks like it's got a little curve in it. Little curve in it. But I don't know if that's a source of our problem or not. But it does look like it's got. I don't know if that's bad. The curve is here, but it could be bad. I think we should probably straighten that out entirely. So we're going to recut this edge. We're going to recut that blade. The right thing to do and a tasty way to do it. We'll go ahead and clean the metal itself up though first. So we're not sharpening the rust. My mom used to call my car back in the day my rust bucket. Good morning, Philippe. Or is it Felipe? Hey, Steve, thanks for coming through. When I was in the wood shop in school, our instructor gave me a project to recon a batch of planes. Kerosene was a friend for the corrosion and gunk. Oh, nice. You know, I avoid kerosene like the plague. Oh, I really do. I'll tell you, this is crazy. When we were kids, my dad had a den that he made out of our garage, much like I've made a workshop out of mine. And the other half was like the sort of very fundamental shop slash laundry room, right? And they were completely separate with a little wall in between and everything. But it didn't share the heating and air that the rest of the house had. And in the winter, my dad would go out there and light this kerosene furnace. And that thing put off such a smell. Like it seems toxic to me. I'm like, you're gonna die out here, man. Like I used to go out there and check on him. But I do not. I just the smell of it from then on just has always like made an avoidance shift happen in me. Like I don't want to be around. You'll be watching in the background. Okay, thanks, Steve. Hey, Steve, did you get my email this morning? I sent it out once and it came back. Like I think I had the wrong address. The second time it didn't come back, so I just wanted to check with you, see if you got it. I do too many better choices now, but this was in the 70s. Kerosene stinks big time. Oh, it does. Passing the blade over the oil stone. Hmm. Going to be lurking. Well, appreciate your lurkability. Thank you for hitting the like button and thank you for your comment because we all know that helps. So that's a two for you. Doing more than most, even in the lurk stage. Appreciate you. That makes you a super lurker. Super lurker. So I'm just cleaning all this up. Yeah, I don't think my wife would tolerate the kerosene coming upstairs on me. He's a gentle spirit. Oh, he said, yeah, looking forward to trying it. Yeah, if anybody can, Steve, you. Absolutely. Absolutely. You guys check out Steve's channel, man. He is doing all kinds of stuff. He is a busy bee all the time. All the time. So I don't know about y'all. I love that kind of stuff. He has a lot of mechanical tooling knowledge, and technological tooling knowledge. He is definitely a modern day craftsman. Um, I am starting out at caveman level, and I'll just work my way up, you know. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and set up we need to set up a little doohickey. Yeah, we'll go ahead and get that together fast. And honing guide. Let me give y'all the proper terms. I'm sorry. Honing guide. That little guy right there. And that's going to help us get flat like we want to be. And we're going to just use, again, take a little bit of advantage of those really, really good. Here's, maybe I'll just stick this to the table. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'll just stick that to the table. Table's flat. This is flat. We need a flat surface. We need a fairly consistent flat surface. Let's go with this. Should we go with a new one? Yes. If we've got a new sanding belt that we don't need, meaning we don't have the size for it. Fellas, you know what I'm talking about. Let's see. You got a 4x36, 36 grit. We do not have a tool in this shop the size of this thing, so we're going to use it. And it's a 36 grit, so it's going to dig fast. So let's go ahead and cut it. If you got to cut these, cut it from this side, because that's the fabric side. These last forever, man. They last forever because of this fabric. And they go on belt sanders. They expect them to get beat on. They don't expect them to get flipped over. Don't you try to come back. Don't you try to come back, sucker. Get over. What does it? Fatally heart attacked by a Bauer 36-inch belt sander. News at 11. That is the knife that should do this duty. That is the tool who will take this job. I will. Wes does it day to day. Everyday care. I'm going to stick it right here, right on this corner, just so I can get to it. Can you see what I'm doing? See what I'm doing? Where? Can you see what? Okay. Nobody wants to hear more of that. All right. I'm going to just cut this one along that little thingamabooble, because that's easy. Right, Wheezy? George. All right, we're gonna take this 120 grit too. We'll see how this works out. We can always heat these up and pull them right back off if there's a problem. You wish your wallet looked like Blake Shelton's? I don't even know who that is. Hey, Joe, where you going with that wood in your hand? Hey. Hey, Joe. Where you going with that wood in your hand? You said my old lady been. Okay. Maybe y'all don't know about Jimi Hendrix. I don't know. Me and Beard do. Me and Beard do. FYI, if you want to subscribe to me, you should already have done it. But let's talk about Beard Grooves, who has just gotten his channel to the subscription line where he can now start to go live himself, and y'all can check him out yourselves. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I can set that right there and be completely content with it. Can I do the same for this 120? Yeah. Do I have an 80? Yeah. We might as well do all three of these things at the same. I got sandpaper on at the same time. I just want to make sure I don't have a better version of any of these before I do that. It'd be a shame. It'd be a shame. When you mess around with my heart, it's a shame. When you hurt me. All right, that's good for that. We'll use this for the 80. Cut it off at the edge. And then we'll cut that one about here. Ought to be good. Man, having a good sharp knife is a real flex. A real flex from those suckers who perpetrate a fraud on you. You know what I mean? All right, so we're just going to run down a quick, short line here of 36 to the 80 to the 120. And then after that, we'll go ahead and jump into the other sanding. And that'll be fairly quick, I think, but we're going to have to eat that edge off in order to do right by it, right? I mean, it looks good from there, it looks good from there, but if you look at it from the top, you can see that dip. You can see that dip. You know what I'm saying? So we flatten our stuff out, give ourselves the best chance for success. Am I right? Sir, yes, sir. You get out there and win that game. Remember, Jesus loves you more than that other team does. Sir, yes, sir. Let us pray. Father, strike down the Jaguars. Make their mothers cry and their daddies feel inadequate. For we are the beloved team. Knock them some guns. All right, where is my pencil? I just want to make a mark around this so I can stay fairly efficient. I don't want to use up too much of my stuff. I don't want to be in the wrong places. You know what I mean? because unused, untapped glue tends to attract dirt, make your desk look even worse than it's gonna look anyway. All right, we're gonna do this one day at a time. One day at a time. Are y'all ready for the trivia Friday night, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time? We're gonna do 80s sitcom trivia, and the winner is not only going to win a special prize of their own choosing, but they will also be entered into the contest to win this right here. This number 4, Stanley, brand new, freshly tuned hand plane. Tweaking the crap out of it. Make it work. Gonna make it do what it do, and then some. Now, if you're flattening a plane or an edge, it's important that you be doing that on a flat as possible surface. So this sandpaper on its own, just laying on a desk, will not do. It's going to curl, and that's going to lead to some problems. So what I'm doing now is just taking some contact cement, and I'm hooking this bad boy up front, top surface of this desk, and then we're going to put this sandpaper right upon it. We don't want any bare spots, but we also don't want any pooled areas either. Make sure you get all the way to the edge. If you don't, you will regret it. When it starts to peel, it will continue. All right. I think we're good. I think we're good. I think we're good. We can set him to the side. We'll move on to the next piece. Oh, Joe says we'll be back in time. Right on, right on. Thanks, Beard. If you need to hop in my live next and choose a handle design for the knife, I have 6 blanks left to make. Hey, Across the Pond Creations is a place that I didn't even realize that you could be in. I didn't even know. I didn't know you were like a channel. But Across the Pond Creations is also doing some content. So please, let's go check them out. Across the pond. That usually means you can catch them at some great time of day. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys are on at different times a lot of times than we are. And it's pretty cool to be able to catch you blokes in the wee hours. Isn't it? Okay, let me stop saying that. Stop generalizing, Wes. I'll do better. Thanks for the shout out. Oh, no problem. Thanks for you coming over here. Like, I've done nothing for your channel compared to what you've done for mine. I had no idea. And I must right that wrong. The universe needs balance. Oh, yeah. The significance of gloves in the workshop. I will never get enough of these doctor's gloves. I used to hate gloves. I really did. Um, and I'm just weird. You know, certain things used to make me a touch claustrophobic. Masks definitely did. Obviously got over that until the gloves just made me feel too restricted. Didn't like it. Weirdly, I absolutely hate to be barefooted. Like I'm dude on the beach with the tennis shoes or the boots on, sitting on the towel, and then like take them off to go get in the water. Put them joints right back on after I clean the sand off. I hate sand. I love the beach. I can't stand sand on me. Ugh. I think all things being even, I probably could tolerate mud better than sand. Man, you could just rinse it off. Freaking sand. Ugh. All in between stuff. Ugh. Maybe I'm disclosing too much. I'm gonna bend this a little bit with the hopes that it'll hold some sort of shape and not roll back up. I'm wrong. It's not gonna not do that. I'm just gonna have to wait that one out. Move that to the side. Maybe I can put a little bit of roller coaster. I'm impatient, is what it is, and I don't want to wait for stuff to dry. I'm like, while that's drying, something else I can be ruining something else. Be barely focused on something else while that's drying. See? But sometimes that works out for me. Sometimes being able to do two things at the same time improves other things. Ugh. As soon as one of these bad boys is dry enough to move over there, I'm doing it. Sticking it down. That one looks dry enough. Do it. Fold that joint back, get it above it, but kind of nearby where I think I want it to be. I'm gonna go right there. I think there's plenty. Lay it down. Don't you make a sound. It is a robbery. Don't make it a murder. Now, quickly, you must react. Ugh. I would never allow this brush to be hitting my natural fingers. Ugh. Yeah. I gotta babble, y'all, until I can read the chat. All right, let's put that contact cement, bam, back down. Give that a little fanny poo. Still keep some nice. Ooh, don't dump the whole table over, Wes. You're powerful. You gotta remember, you're on Earth right now. Gotta remember this. Gravity can't handle your Wakandan strength. You say watch your video, your knife video that drops in like 3 hours, and we'll call it even. Yo, let's do it. Let's do it. I don't recommend this because I also don't have on a mask, and really, really, for real, you could pass out, or you could inhibit yourself in some way that wouldn't be good for you. We need to stay safe in the shop. The only time I'm cool being covered in mud is when I'm camping, says ATP. Yeah, I don't know that I'm ever covered in mud comfortably either, but I know in my mind I can set my brain around it. I do a lot of plumbing repairs, so sometimes you got to dig, and it's always going to be water because it's a leaking line underground, so it's going to be muddy as heck. I just think I've been able to maybe professionally, I can usually wrap my brain around stuff. You'd be surprised at how much, you know, adjustments you've had to make mentally. You're underneath the house and you hear somebody flush while you're working on the pipes. You know what I'm saying? All right. So, just to illustrate it clearly, we got the 36 right here. We got the 80 right here. We got the 120 right here. Now, these all are pretty filthy. I did know that going in, but I also know I got this magic eraser. Look at that. Isn't that a trip? This is belt sander cleaner is what they called it on the label in the store. The belt sander cleaner. It works fantastic. So all these belts that look like they were over the hill, not quite. Get the gunk out first before you judge. Hmm? A lesson for us all. This does it. Sharpening superstar. Dang right. Did anyone ever wear a mask when using that primer for PVC? I can't be the only one to love that smell. Oh my God, no, I hate that smell. I am just, thing about me is I developed a bad habit early because I didn't like masks. Um, I started out, as a lot of you might know already, roofing, right? Commercial roofing, asphalt roofing. You've seen people putting asphalt in the streets. Same product, different application, melted to about between 500 and 600 degrees, where it's absolute liquid like water, and it stinks. It stinks. And two things: I learned how to hold my breath for a really long time, and then and just take gasps and gulps from time to time. Checking the flatness, make sure I got the angle on this thing up against the light. And it seems like I did really well this for a first effort. I'm surprised. That does not usually happen like that. Uh, but today it did, so I'm not gonna. We'll go ahead and put a little schmutz in there too, huh? Get those ball bearings rolling. All right, I got this thing on Temu, maybe a year or two ago. Not like right when my channel started, when I just first started. So I'm gonna put a little schmutz on the front of this thing, right? Anyway, heck, I might even just put some there. Yeah, how rough that is. Let's see what it does to that blade. It's gonna be pretty heavy. If you were sharpening, you would never do this. You would never go to 36 grit. This is to cut metal off. And you can see we're cutting from back here forward. So we're getting it back here. We're going to continue until it pulls all the way down to that edge. And then we'll move on to the next grit. We're almost to that edge. You can see it's running across there, but not quite to that edge yet. But it's getting there. Now, we're going to be creating a burr any moment now. As we near that edge, we're not quite there yet. Not all the way. We are on the edges, and just this little bit in the middle hasn't quite hit it yet. Okay. Now we are at that edge. It looks good. We're going to go a little bit further just to get everything out the way, make sure we are refined. And then we're going to jump right over here. Remember, we had to be flat for this because we're creating a flat surface. We have to do it on a flat surface with the flat surface. We gotta be particular with this first part. If we don't do this one right, the next one doesn't do anything. The next one doesn't do anything. It'll look like it's doing something, but it won't. When you're regrinding that edge, the sharp starts right here, right where we're at right now. And we're nice and close to that edge. What I'm going to do now is shift this thing, my honing device, forward just a little bit, which means my blade comes back to me a little bit. Now we're going to cut micro bevel. And we're just barely going anywhere. We'll loosen it up to do it easy. And then we tighten it right back down. Sure we're still flat on the bed of that thing. Now we're going to do that over here on the 80 grit. We don't want to go too heavy on the micro bevel. And this is a budget way to do it. There are stones and diamond plates and stuff that can do this stuff as well. I'm a contractor, and all of these things I have in my shop anyway. And they're fairly inexpensive, and you can get them for much cheaper than what you can diamond plates and stuff like that. They won't last as long, but you get one sheet. Like, how many times can you get out of this 36-inch piece. You can get quite a few. That's only about 7, 8 inches. You have a $20 heat gun, you can get all of these up in 2 minutes. All right. Now it looks like we're cutting that edge a little bit now. Let's keep going. We're not going to bother with it right now with the burrs. We're going to do that once we get to the 120 and beyond. But for now, what we're looking for is just to keep a nice consistent line across that very tip of that blade. Starting to do that. When you do this, if you do this, make sure your piece is long enough that you can get a good pull, because you're not going to be able to utilize all of this because that honing jig is going to be seated, right? And it's rolling. So that much space, right, is going to be moving. So from here to here. So as I go back, right, that's my limit right there. After that, I jump off the paper, and that's not good because you want it on the same surface the whole way. So I can go from here to here. Otherwise, I'd have to reverse, go on the other side, and you could do that. But keep that in mind, that you cut your paper long enough. All right. Looking good. Now, this ain't wood. We're cutting metal, so we got to be a little bit, we don't have to be a whole lot more aggressive, but we do have to take more time. But we're getting some good results right here. We're going to move up to that 120 and put some smooch. Hit that blade on this side and this side, just so that we can move whatever aggregate we start to build up as we go. You hear that? I said aggregate. Word. Like a daggone scientist in this motor scooter. WD-40 professor. Majoring in automotive fluids. The minor in cheap toolography. Go ahead and start working that burr off. Look at that. Starting to be a blade. And you'll be glad that you had gloves on for this part. Because it'll let you be a little bit more generous with that WD-40 than you would be otherwise. And you need that. You need it. You don't think you do, but you need it. All right, that's good. Let's go ahead and start figuring out what we want to do about sharpening. We also could have done this on the sharpening setup with the grinder, the bench grinder potentially. This is the cheapest way I know to do it, so that's what we're going to do for now. All the same theories still apply. So if you go to a heavier duty thing, that's cool too. You know what I'm saying? You'll still know what to do. You'll still be able to pull it off. So now, should we go to our jig. We haven't tried that yet. No, that's going to be not cheap. Well, it is cheap, but you'd have to build it. Let's go with, I guess we're just going to go with the stones. We're just going to go with the stones because that's probably the most inexpensive way and simplest way. That also matters. Um, so to keep that from corrupting my stones, because you don't want oil in your stones, period. I'm going to go ahead and cover these up. That'll soak up the bulk of that oil. And then I'll put on a couple more layers just to keep a buffer between once I put the stones down. Because they're wet stones and they're going to get wet and they're going to continue to do just that. And I don't want no problems because the stones also, let me see, there is a little thing you can put underneath them. I rarely use it, so I didn't think about it. Oh. But there is this block. Like I said, I never use it. Let's put that block thing in there. I'm gonna go clean that off just so y'all don't think I'm gross. But I'll be right back. And we'll put the wet stones in. Let's take them with us because I got to get those full of water too. It's bug season, so I emptied it out. So it's going to take about 10 minutes for these things to get full enough of the water. Maybe longer than that, but we'll still hone these blades and get them done. And we'll check it up against the chip breaker, all that stuff, make sure we're good. Now, excellent, Smithers. Meanwhile, while I'm in here doing that, you're out there doing this. If you happen to be available to touch your phone, you touch it twice and tap that screen, you'll be able to like this video, and then I'll be able to feed my starving children. And I'm not saying that's your responsibility. It's just, what I'm doing to try to feed them. And hopefully one day I'll make enough money for them to be proud of their old man. Call him a provider. But no, if you'd rather just buy a coffee, that's cool. Coffee's important. Coffee's important. Maybe your kid's like, hey, my dad, guy that drinks coffee, and that's what makes me proud of him, Yeah, you gotta do that. Like it's the right thing to do, All right, we got our pan pretty filled. These bad boys should be blowing bubbles for a little while now. We're gonna go ahead and grab all our pieces and head back. Hip hop wood chop. If you listen close, you can hear it kind of hissing. The water getting into all of those little nooks and crannies. I'll shut up so you can hear it. Oh no, not right there, because it'll definitely spill over, and I'll be sitting in a pool of water for the rest of the live, trying to play it off like I don't feel like I wet myself. And I refuse to put myself through that. But I can put those stones right there. And as you can see, I don't have a fancy setup for those stones. I just keep them in this old pan that we didn't use, and it works. When it's time for some water in them, I set them in there. We're going to let them sit for a little bit. Once they stop bubbling, hissing, and sizzling, I'll take these gloves off and then I'll show you what I'm using. I'll get you close up on that bubbling brown sugar action. Like it's fish in there or something, right? You guys are all over the place. All right, sorry. So yeah, that's just gonna keep doing that for a little bit. While it does, I'll try to set up here and get some of this stuff off the desk out of the way and make sure that we can see everything whenever we're ready to reassemble. We're also going to check this chip breaker and make sure that's flat. If that's got a curve in it, that's a problem too. So we need to address that if that's part of our dilemma. I hope you could see that. I don't know if you could. This is what I'm referencing. Chip breaker. Hey, woodshed about Dan. DG Slam the Bass month. What you mean? Are you saying you fishing? Atuba manufacturer. Hold on one second, you guys. Hello, this is Wes.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Chloe here. Good morning. I'm calling because your Medicare member profile is showing it hasn't been transferred into Medicare's national database for 2026 yet, and that can delay your coverage. So, to get your file updated, do you have both Medicare Part A and Part B?
Did y'all hear that robot pause to clear its voice? It's crazy. It was like, that's funny.
Sorry about that. My mic acts up sometimes.
It does not. It did it again.
Your 2026 Medicare benefits, including food and flex cards, low premiums, and hospital coverage. And you do have Part A and Part B of Medicare?
I have your mother and your father. Oh, dang it. That robot is sensitive about its parents. Okay. So, while that's bubbling, let's get back to business. It's somewhere in this arena right here. I'm trying to just get a good shot for you guys. I apologize that sometimes this gets a little bouncy, but this thing really does give me the most available movement. So my final perspective is usually decent. So that's why I continue on like I do, like the pull. So I am. Did my sound go out? What happened? Let me check it again. How about now? Okay, thank you, Joe. I appreciate it. Okay, so back to our show. Let's get some more gloves on. We're gonna go with the lightweighters. listen, I am pretty satisfied. This is not a promo or a prompt. It's just me telling you what I got in my shop. But these Harbor Freight Hardy gloves, pretty good so far for me. They seem to do the expected task pretty well. All right. So what y'all might have missed was me just sort of cleaning this off, taking a good look at it. I think what I want to do here is get my combination square and put that top on it and then match it to this edge and see if I've got a good 90 for one and see if I've got a curveless profile for two. And as always, the only task at this point is to locate the doggone thing. Shop gods have smiled upon us on this day. Now I'm going to put it up to the light. You may not be able to see this in the same perspective as me because the light's behind you. And what I see is I definitely have a little belly in this chip breaker. Now I need to see if it's a bend or if it's a wear. Because if it's a bend, we have to deal with that differently than if it's a wear. Okay. Seems to be wear, like it's worn unevenly. Interestingly enough, the answer for this is the exact same process as what we just went through. Let's take this, set this aside. Those have to get together anyway. You awaken the oil beasts. Now, it's a real shame to have to pull this off from where we're already set and good and happy to be, but we can reassess it. We can always check the bevel, check the angle, and get it back right. Let's go ahead and pull it apart. Set it to the side. Catch this up to that, and then we can get them both at the same time. The only difference is with this, we don't need to have a angle. In fact, we probably are better off freehanding this if we got a nice flat surface, because this has to just meet that chip. Let's see. Let's see. If we go at the very, very back, maybe we can hold it near where we want it to be. I don't think so. I don't think so. This might be a dilemma for that other tool. Let's try it this way. If we can get it nice and flat from the start, and then we can kind of cut it into an angle. I'm going to do it down here like this on this edge, right? Because that's going to let me get a flat. I want to be parallel to this ultimately. This tool won't do that. I don't want to compromise the work because the tool is limited. Do it by hand if we have to. In this case, it's like we have to. At least we got a good flat surface to work with. You're a robot. I'm just trying to maintain the same angle. It's just simple enough. See what I got cut across? That's what we want. Consistency across that edge. Do it again. We got a little bit. Keep paralleling. Good to have this 36 grit at this point. Oh my gosh. Let's pull the burr now because I feel like I almost put myself through the glove. All right, parallel the tabletop. And that 80 grit. That's just for the burr. Hit it again. Same thing over here on the 120. Get that burr. Now this is fair. This is coarse stuff as far as the sharpening world goes in metal. This is pretty coarse. And you can see we're already getting nice shiny stuff here. Let's check it again with our combination square and see if what we have is a nice clean edge to start our sharpening process. And again, it's not as crucial with these. What's more crucial is that it's flat and that it can meet up with that edge good, that blade edge. And this looks good as far as I can see. I'm going to lock it down and we're going to recover all this stuff. Make sure you like the live. It's free. It's free 99. Thank you, Monkey. Appreciate you coming through. Yo, mama, appreciate you too. You already know I do. You already know I do. You already know I do. Now these are still bubbling, right? So what we're going to do with these as we go, we're going to keep dousing a little water on them, keep the moisture on the top of these stones, so that we keep everything going as it should be going. Okay. The first thing I'm going to do is, this is my 400 grit right here. I haven't put this in these in a long time, but they work and they hold that water from spilling over into your desk. Because again, we're going to keep moistening this as we go. Real fast, I'm going to use the flattening block, stones, whatever you want to call it. All right. That's going to make sure I'm nice and flat. Because we have to freehand this anyway, what I'm going to do is go ahead and get this oil off of here. Again, it's not because it's a problem for the metal, it's because that oil is a problem for the stone. After it's already engaged in water, you can choose one or the other with most sharpening systems, but you don't really want to be mixing up stuff. So here, primarily, I'm just going to be pulling off. Just kind of hand sharpen this here. Again, just staying parallel to the stone itself. This is good that it's elevated. It kind of gives me the freedom to do that. And then pull the burr on the backside off. Because again, here we're not sharpening the blade, we're flattening an edge. that off. See what we got. And I am just checking that there to make sure it's good. And I'm going to put it up against that. I'm going to put you guys on quiet for a second. Sorry about that. I'm going to take my calls if they come. If they come like that, I'm going to check them out. All is well, however. The shop is a mess. Can't seem to keep it clean. That means you're getting stuff done. That's all that means, Dan. That means you're getting stuff done. A neat shop. There's nothing going on in a neat and tidy shop. Kidding me? I can get my shop neat and tidy in the morning by noon. It's crazy. Stuff everywhere. Stuff everywhere. That is the price of getting stuff done. I'm with it. So all I'm saying is don't feel bad about it. You're definitely not by yourself. Badge of honor. Dirty hands and worn boots. All right. That looks good. Let's go ahead and get going on this bad boy. This bad boy. All right, we're gonna want our honing device for this. Sounds sophisticated. This thing costs about $3. Let's see. We did not look up that time. We scooch back. Gonna hold tight right there. It just feels right, you know, it just feels right. A little water on the top. Not a lot, because it's already flooded with water on the inside. Tighten up. Giggity. Ooh, let's pull this oil off here. Slipping. Slipping. All it takes is a little simple mistake to ruin your whole dang day. That's okay. In the words of Tina Belcher, I'm okay. Let's move you out of the way. This is a 400 grit, and this is me working on the Amazon Basics setup whetstone. Woo! Don't be a goofball. All right. We're gonna put in a little time on it in the when we're on the old 400 grit. It is the coarsest grit of these whetstones that I have. So when I'm using it, it's probably the last stage of being able to shape anything. First stage of being able to sharpen and polish anything. So I will spend a little more time on it than anything else, unless I'm just sharpening. I'm gonna pull this stone out, dunk it in the water over there, and get all that little debris off of it. We don't want to just keep dragging back and forth across that. Not yet. I say not yet because when we get into the finer grits, we don't mind that slurry. It actually will help polish the blade. That is little bits and pieces of the burr on it gone. And the burr is that little sliver of metal that curls up on the end when you sort of carve, when you grind off enough to that edge, sort of rolls to that edge. When we do this, we're just sort of cutting it off. When we do that, we're making our blade blunt though, like a goofball. Water on there, just so I can get that slurry off of there. You see all that little slurry that the water's sort of capturing? It's keeping it from sitting in a place where it's getting cut off, which is in our area that we're cutting it off. And that wouldn't be good. You can see that the middle of this is getting all of the attention, pulling that edge back from that middle. Must be a bend in this blade, but we're gonna have to go until it's all good. And remember, 400 grit is not that far from 150, which was our last grit that we put on there. Was it 120 maybe? In the sharpening world. A little jump from 300. Maybe we could have done that in the middle. But this 400, given the time, will do the job. Get that edge where we want it. We're going to keep going until we're all the way across that thing. Same way. Fact. Since we're doing it like that. Let's throw a little, because over here we can handle it. Over here we're not as worried about clogging these up. So, we'll go over here. Put a little water on there. And just beat on that blade a little bit with that 120. You see it starting to blacken over there. It's letting us know where it's taking it off to get it flat. Right? It gets us back. Get that water back on there. And you may not want to be this aggressive with the tool, as I am a professional YouTuber. Just kidding. Full-time job turkey. Part-time sucker. If we got signs that our blade itself or our edge itself is running a little uneven, we're going to address it. You know what I'm saying? Clean that thing up. Give ourselves, while we got all of this stuff set up, our best chance of success. There's nothing wrong with going back and saying, oh, I didn't get that good enough. Nothing wrong with that. It saves you some time later, because you're going to have to do this again. Even if you kept going, you realize at the end you had uneven wear, you didn't have a consistent edge. Or as soon as it does wear, it'll wear uneven again, and it'll be all crazy again. And I ain't gonna do you like that. I'm not gonna send you this tool with a temporary edge on it. No ma'am, no sir. Now, in the words of the fifth element, back to the stove. The stove. Move that forward. Lay it backwards. Geometry means that. Boop. I'm just going to adjust back a little bit. A little bit. A lot. No, not a lot. A little bit. Shelter them a little bit. And these whetstones here, this is where we should get very efficient. Notice we're not carving the empty spot in the middle like we were before, because we're making contact with the majority of that edge. We want to make contact with that entire edge. Getting there. Turn that bad boy around. Looking good. Looking good. Again, we got to get it right early in order for us to have it right. Because we'll be compounding onto a problem that we didn't fix. Since we're not just sharpening. If this was cutting all right, it wouldn't have left those shavings in between like it was. So we need to make sure we give ourselves the best edge. Takes time sometimes. Main thing is live run and the unexpected uneven edges. It's not completely compliant, really. Everyone has to learn. It just takes time to fix. Yep. I do appreciate the people in the chat who are able to answer questions that someone else might have or give information and inquiries uh, where I can't because I'm obviously having to eyeball my hands and make sure I don't ruin this blade live on the two of you. You know what I mean? But we do feel sufficiently satisfied. We're going to flip this edge over and put this on the 1,000 grit side of things. It should give us the beginnings of our polishing stages. As you can see by the watercolor, we're still knocking off a good bit of material, even at 1,000. Ooh, jeez, that's what happens when you jump off the back ledge. Carve right into the stone. Have to resaturate, that's all. I like to take my time and resaturate every now and then. Hey, see you later, Steve. Thanks for coming through. Okay, Dan, we'll see you. Thanks for coming through. Oh, was that just Steve saying later to Dan? Okay, got it. Friendly group. Friendly group. So as you can hear, that 1,000 grit stop making sound pretty much means we're good on that edge. We'll go ahead and pull the burr. And then I'm going to move this stone back out and I'm going to go to the 3,000 grit Amazon whetstone. And if I can get it in there too. This all came in the same kit. Not all these things, but all these stones came in the same kit. It's just like maybe $30 when I got it. I remember thinking it was a really good deal, and turned out to be so because it's lasted as well. You can see where I'm hitting that edge. Hitting that edge, hitting that edge. There's my trash man outside. I'm so grateful for them. All right. Let's go ahead and jump over. This has a little bit of rust debris from a pan. So I'm going to hit that with the block. Take off that top layer of material. And get it back flat. I never would have thought about that. That you have to maintenance your stones to keep them flat. And it makes all the sense in the world. I'm glad this kit came with it. That was probably a month before I realized that's what this was for. And when I say realize, somebody in the chat told me. It's awesome. It looks like I'm only cutting in the center, don't it? So that starts to spread. Pretty clear sign that middle is not getting hit the same. Or it could be my wheel bearing making that mark. Let's go ahead and see how this edge takes the strop. And then we'll see how this blade cuts. I should have known that was going to happen. I think maybe I did. toxic self-sabotage. Gonna stop going to them altogether. Happy Mental Health Awareness Month. I hope you guys are taking care of yourselves. Hope you guys are taking care of each other. Whoever in your life might be struggling. You can always be everything to everybody, but you can be something to somebody. All right, we're gonna go ahead and put another little piece down here so we can check our stuff out. Where's our strop at? Try out the West Does It strop for the first time on a non-knife. See how it does. You guys know Friday night, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And tomorrow, we are going to do trivia, 80s sitcom trivia. The winner is going to get a free entry to win this, and the winner is going to also win something else. We're going to get to pick. And everybody else will have an opportunity to potentially win this. Look how sharp and clean that is. All right, we'll do the same thing here. And I'm just going to pull across the front. We don't want burrs on the chip breaker either, because the chip breaker is also going to make contact with that wood, and you want it to be able to just smoothly slide across the top of that thing. All right. We'll see what we shall see. Put these bad boys together. Motor scooter. Get in there. And now I like for mine to be just back behind it. Barely peeking out from under there. That's how I like it. Then I'm going to tighten that up. I'm going to keep it straight and double checking to make sure I'm straight, letting the light dictate that for me. Keeping my thumbs kind of on the side of this so I can sort of shift it left to right if I need to. My hand staying in tight contact so I can feel it if it does move. Right there, that looks about where I like it to be. Give it another little adjustment, make it a little bit tighter, a little bit more tighter. Hakuna Matata. Let's see, I had a concern about this frog's distance as well. So let's put it on there. Take a quick look, see where the blade falls. Once you put the blade in here, it should fall. That little square peg right there, that should fall right in there. Right? And that's what allows you to shift left and right. You do that, and then you know you're in there and you're where you're supposed to be. Then we just get the lever cap and pop it over top and lock all of this down. Are you suggesting that I've lost the lever cap? Posture. How dare you? How dare you? I know exactly where the heck is that cap. Where the heck is that lever cap? Oh, it's right here. See? Told you. Told you I knew. Now, in this case, you see how easily that happened? I'm going to give it a little more tight. Just a little more. Ugh, not much. Just a little more. A little more. That might have been too much. Let's see. Let's we'll do some common poplar and just test out and see if we've got a tool that can cut yet. We'll start off by backing it up some, and then we'll work our way down by just moving that back. And then we'll go across to see if we're making contact. If we are, we're going to go back some more. Contact, we're going to go back some more. Because we don't want to jab into this wood. We want to ease onto it just so that we can see what we got going on. I'm making gross fingerprints on it. All right, here we are. All right. Not making contact. Perfect. So now I'm going to start. I'm going to take what you would think is a slop out till I feel pressure. Once I do, I know I'm moving. Then I put a little pressure turn, maybe a quarter turn. Still nothing. Quarter turn. Nothing. Quarter turn. Felt something. Hurt something. Quarter turn. Let's look in there. Yep. It look good so far. Again, it's going to flatten this board out first. And then, if it will take a shaving, then it'll take a shaving after that. Right now, we got some chattery looking, dusty stuff. Let's see where that's happening at. For this wood, if we were right, you'd be getting a really nice shaving here. This is getting jammed up still. Something's still wrong. Because watch. That's a completely different result. That's what we want when we're set up proper. I'm gonna pull this lever cap, check and see if we're still biting. Looks like we are. Doesn't look like we're biting the same. Let's see. Because when I look through, I don't see material inside of here. So that might just be we're too far or too close. Let's see. We've got our other one to reference. Let's see how it's set up. Looks like on this one we got a little bit more out. That blades out a little bit more. Not much, a little bit. So, let's do that. Just that blade. Give it a little more space in between. And I will tell you, I own 5 of these, soon to be 4. And it is important that you treat them as individuals. These all basically function the same. But this old, they've got different sets of weaknesses and values. Now, let's see how we do here. Go back a little bit. Whew. Deep. Pull back a little bit. Too deep. Pull back a little bit. Too deep. Still pulling back. Still too deep. Pulling back. Still too deep. All right. Good. Good. Now, that little adjustment. As soon as I get this flat, as soon as I get this top flat, because it ain't yet. This is what we wanted. This is what we wanted. Almost see-through. So, got a nice and no wood chips all grabbed and gummed up in there. Right? 2 good Stanleys. This one is a better looking one, so this is the one that I'm going to give away on Friday, tomorrow night, 8 p.m. These are heavy. But that is the relative ins and outs of sharpening up one of those blades. These are that's the single biggest problem that you'll have with any plane is having to sharpen this edge. Thank you, Beard. I appreciate it. But I got 5 of them, so it's mostly the postage and again, I don't need 5 of them. Once you know how to do all the things with one, you only need one of any particular plane. I think. I don't know, but I only have one. I have 5 of the same one. Big Bruce said I got 5 on it. Okay, we're gonna set that up. Tomorrow we're gonna be in the building. That and beat up souls. That is true. Beat up souls is a very similar process to what we would have here, right? If your souls were beat up. Now I've cleaned these up, so you don't really have that concern for quite some time. But um, if they were particularly beat up, you can see this one had some pitting. It wasn't in as good shape as this one was by the final product. But you can set these minus all this hardware, minus the blade and all that stuff, and just run them across the same process, keeping them dead flat all the way over. And you do that all the way up to automotive level. What's up, baby? Okay. Well, so you guys, she made soup, and I'm in love. So I'm gonna get out of here, and I'll check back in with you guys a little bit later. Do I like loonies? Yeah, I got 5 on it. We all know, we know what you're talking about. All right, I appreciate y'all. Thank you so super much for hanging out with me. Straight up, just the greatest. And I want you to know that I appreciate you. And I'm getting ready to go have lunch with my wife. And I'll see you guys a little bit later. I appreciate you. Hit that like button on your way out if you would. That would be dope. That gives me a little bit more algorithmic latitude, and I can use it. Remember, tomorrow we come out. We're gonna give one thing away, absolutely free from the trivia, and then we can do a little buy-in on the big time giveaway. So remember, you can get a hand plane, a good one, like Rex Kruger, for like $5 entry. I'm gone. West does it. We'll see you a little bit later. Peace.